Tell me where do I go? Tell me where do I take us? Your heart is starting to slow. May the water be safe. As I dive in, bloodstains washing underneath the waves. I'll be reaching out to keep you safe. As we fall, I can't hold on much longer. We're drifting down to the other side. Try to pull us under. Keep holding.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second set of matches from the Serenity Gaming Wintersplit 2019. And this is a match between SRG Aries and SRG Caeli. I am your host, Milky Zero, and joining me as our colour caster is the one and only Bimsa. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you for asking.
Right, so, let's just get straight into this and let's start talking about Aries and Caeli then. Aries and Caeli have both won their last games, and let's go over the teams then, shall we? Do you want to start off with the top lane?
Yes, in the top lane from Caeli we have Hunika. Hunika is I think he's a really mechanical or really talented player. I often see him play these very, should we say, unconventional picks, but he somehow always makes them work because he's just a really good player in the way that he always, like, even if he's losing lane, if he's behind, he always finds a way back in the game. So I really think that he's a really big pressure point for his team. Going up against Aries Ra, which I have seen struggle a lot lately, especially he's prone to take the more risky matchup, more carry versus carry matchups, but often it just ends up not working out in his favor, so he ends up actually losing lane and falling behind, and I don't see him having the same capabilities of catching up like Hunika does, so I think the top lane matchup is going to be very important for the outcome of the game.
And in terms of the champions they played then, Hunika does play the kind of... Rahyung plays the kind of standard Camille, Gangplank, Aatrox. But if you look at Hunika's solo queue, at least from Season 8, he plays some really flashy champions. You've got Kassadin, the Talon, the Kennen. So, again, you mentioned that Hunika, he does like the mechanical skill plays. Do you think these... Obviously, then, do you think these champions fit in with that kind of game style?
Yeah, I definitely believe that the champions Hunika plays, like, you see one of his most played champions is Kassadin, and like, Hunika is the kind of player that if I'm going to tell him, hey Hunika, I don't think this champion works top lane, he's going to be like, well, I'm going to play top lane anyway. Like, he just somehow always makes these weird champions work, and he always has this idea that I think this champion is a counter pick to this champion, and then just goes for it. And I have a lot of respect for his ingenuity and his creativity.
And so can we call him the Huni of Serenity Gaming then?
I think it is a fair assessment because he can both pop off and really like smurf on the opponent, but he can also just like die in a side lane 8 times in a row for no apparent reason. But yeah, I think that he's the guy who would randomly just whip out a champion that you have not seen before just because he's like, well, I believe this is a counter pick.
Right, and let's go to the jungle then. We've got a Baby Sam from Aries against Jester from Caeli. What can you tell us about these two players?
Well, when it comes to Jester, he's the kind of player that he's gonna play all up in your face all early game. He plays Camille, he plays Xin Shao, he plays Jarvan. Like, this guy, you're not gonna get any rest from him at all, especially in a team format like this. Really gonna use the pressure to his advantage that his top laner can bring. So I believe that Jester's probably just gonna try and lock down the top lane with vision and then just work through the pressure that we can see Hunika generate. And then when it comes to Baby Sam, he's like, his champion pool, it seems sort of stuck in the past because he plays a lot of Skarner, he plays Sejuani, he plays Ivern, like these more tanky champions. So I think he's a player that not as flashy as Jester maybe, and he's more the player that plays whatever the team needs compared to trying to really open up the early game as Jester does.
Yeah, and you mentioned he likes those kind of tanks like the Sejuani. In Aries' last game, they did beat SRG Alistair's 2-0, and one of the champions he did play was Sejuani, but in his second game, he did pull out the Jarvan 4, so we could possibly see him play a more aggressive jungler.
Yeah, but I also do believe that Baby Sam, he's a player who's not shy to actually take upon the tank role for his team. He's not one of the players who's like, I have to pop off and I have to look good while doing it. So with that in mind, I think that it opens up a lot for the rest of the team to play more carry-oriented, so they actually can have a standard front-to-back team fighting because it is way easy to execute when you have a tank jungler instead of all damage champions.
Right, and moving on to the mid lane then, and we have just entered the draft, so we'll go over the rest of the team shortly, but again, SRG Aries, they will be taking blue side, and they will get the first ban, and it is the Jarvan.
Yeah, so that's just one of the champions that we saw Jester play, and potentially, like, I wouldn't put it above Hunika to actually flex the top lane, and we also saw Go Orange played bot lane, so this is potentially a ban that goes three ways for Aries.
I mean, we were mentioning before we went live, we were just talking about possibilities, and Gorange did play in his first game against Pegasus, which Caeli won. He played the Sejuani support, and we were talking to him before, and he mentioned you can play Sejuani and Jarvan support, so they are removing that flex spec, as Syndra and Lissandra are also banned.
Yeah, and touching upon the Jarvan, I do believe that, especially with these picks, you don't have to believe they're powerful, but when you play against something that is an unknown quantity in a game that you really want to win, often it's just easier to take it away and be like, okay, we have not prepared for this at all, and we really don't know the limits of it, so let's just ban it, just to be sure.
Right, and I really like the second ban from Caeli, banning off the Zyra. We have seen One Trick Panstar, who is the Aries support. Usually he plays the kind of Braum, Janna, Alistair. He played Braum twice in the first game of 2019. But recently, if you look at his match history, he has pulled out about 9 games of Zyra in Flex and solo queue.
Yep.
So you do have to give respect to that. I mean, you're not going to be playing randomly 8 games of Zyra if you're not going to be practicing, as Sejuani is locked in straight away from Aries. So where do you think that's going to be then?
I do believe from Aries that it's going to be a tank jungler, especially like we just talked about the fact that Baby Sam is probably likely to play the tank jungler, so I believe that's where it's going to go. And the really quick pick of Galio from Caeli, I really like Galio as a champion. I think like right now he is really overtuned, but also he just offers so much playmaking potential if you play well and you have good macro. So I really like the champion because it could really just shut down a team if they do not respect him. And then the Kai'Sa, who's like, Kai'Sa is this champion that she's just always like a later game win condition, because even if she go even in most lanes or just like lose out barely, but she's just always gonna scale up and become this massive pick later in the game.
Yeah. And I do like that. Caeli take the Kai'Sa and Aries respond instantly saying, fine, if you're going to take Kai'Sa, we can take a Lucian Alistair bot lane and we will try to clap you as hard as we can in that early game.
Yeah. And also, you expect the Lucian Alistar to have the pressure against Kai'Sa, in this case Kai'Sa Morgana, which just opens up Alistar to roam. And Alistar Sejuani is really dangerous, especially because you can just get stun locked. You get knocked up by Alistar, Sejuani stacking up her passive, then you get stunned, then the trample from Alistar stuns you again. Like, if you meet them in the jungle, you're very likely just to get locked down forever.
And Veigar actually banned against Mazarox, who is the Aries mid laner. He does play a fair bit of Veigar in his solo queue, but he hasn't, I don't think he has played it yet in Wintersplit. Not in Wintersplit at least, maybe not even last year. However, Caeli now banning off the Morgana and Aries will ban off the Camille. And Camille, we have seen before that she can be used as a bit of a flex spec.
Yeah, but also right now, it's a very standard thing. The enemy picked their jungler, so now opponent is just banning junglers just to pinch the pool so they get a favorable matchup. And also, I like the idea of just banning away the Malzahar, because You have a
Oh,
Malzahar.
there's the Lee Sin.
Oh,
Okay.
that's what I want to see. But when you have this, as I said, when you have this Malzahar against Galio, like Malzahar is just a champion who's like, if you're like, okay, we're probably not gonna win lane, and we're just looking to go even and have a pretty strong team fighting champion, then Malzahar is just like always the pick. So by banning it away, you force a lot more mistakes from your opponent, or at least you force them onto a champion where you actually have to do something proactive instead of just sitting around and waiting.
And Mazarok's picking up the Orianna as Urgot is locked in for Ra-Hyung. And Orianna did get played by Mazarok in their first game of the year, and he did play pretty well on it. So definitely watch out for that mid lane, especially with Sejuani, who has a lot of gank potential.
Yeah, but the problem right here is that Orianna is a champion who, if you pilot her well, you can just sit close to your tower and just farm up and scale and become a really big monster, because you can just take those raptor camps so efficiently. You can easily hit like 11-12 CS per minute. But
right, but Mordekaiser has just been locked in.
yeah, so let's just stop with that immediately. That's great.
Is it going to go
looking
bot?
forward to this.
Is it going to go bot?
No, I'm pretty sure this is top lane Mordekaiser.
Yeah. Because we were talking about before, Gorange were practicing the Mordekaiser Leona bot lane and Mordekaiser Blitzcrank as well. So, I was a little bit hopeful. I mean, you could see, no, Mordekaiser Kaiser bot lane wouldn't quite work, would it?
No, I don't think so, but you know, I have been wrong before. But I just want to go back to this. I just want to go back to this Orianna Galio matchup, because as many people have probably heard before, mid lane is a 2v2. Like Sejuani, Orianna is like really weak early game, and they just want to farm up, and Orianna just want to park the lane as close to her tower as possible, and then just freeze the wave. Whereas Caeli, he's just going to continuously shove you in. He has really good long range clear, so it's really hard to establish a freeze against him. And if you ever overstep just slightly, then Lee Sin is just going to go in and clap you together with Galio. So this is going to require really well positioning from Mazarok to not just go 0-10 in lane. So I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah, and let's think about the early game versus late game. Who should be stronger in the early game? Because you've got champions like Urgot Lucian, so surely Aries should have a much stronger early game.
Yes, definitely. Now I'm only guessing. I do believe that this Mordekaiser top lane, meaning that Urgot's is going to have a reasonably hard time to poking him out, because he has really good sustain. But that said, Mordekaiser is not going to have any pressure top lane at all. If the lane is piloted correctly, I do believe, because Mordekaiser mid lane can easily get the push early, simply because he's a non-mana using champion, whereas in top lane it's a lot harder, because the trading patterns are drastically different. And with that said, Lucian Alistar is also going to have a lot of pressure on the Kaiser Morgana, so both sides of the map is heavily weighted towards Aries, and then mid lane, you're probably just going to see the Galio with all the pressure in the world. So with that in mind, I do believe that if you look at the map overall from Aries, it's probably going to be early game favored for them. But if one of their solo lanes, or side lanes, I suppose, with the AD carry and top lane, if they get caught out, that could drastically change the way the game is going to be played out. So early game is favored from Aries, but a single misstep can cost them the entire early game, and at that point we're just going to see Caeli scale and just run over the opponent, I believe.
One interesting point I would like to mention is playing ADC for Caeli is Lil Eisen, and he did not play the last game. It was Nick DePanda, who is the substitute for Caeli, so he played last time. So this is Lil Eisen's first game for Caeli, and he is playing on the Kaiser. How do you think he should perform in this Kaiser Morgana versus Alistar Lucian bot lane?
Well, this is a lane that, from the perspective of Caeli, there's very little that Kaiser can realistically do in this lane. You're just going to have to try and sacrifice the least and just gain as much farm as possible and just try and scale up. Whereas a lot of weight in this matchup lies in the Morgana, because if she can Black Shield perfectly and stop the Alistar engage, which is really hard to do, but if she can do that, that means that Kaiser has a lot more freeway in the lane to actually farm. But mess that up once, Kaiser goes really low and a lot of pressure lost in lane. So to sum it up, I do believe that it requires a lot of synergy from the bot lane. This matchup particularly, because they are just so unfavored in winning any trades. But with that being said, Morgana is like, whenever you introduce like Morgana or Fresh and something into the mix, it's like, it always becomes a skill matchup, right? Like, if Morgana lands a binding through minions or something of the sort of that, Kai'Sa Morgana can do a lot of damage because Q from Morgana applies a stack, W from Kai'Sa is basically guaranteed to hit, and you walk up in Q and that's a really big trade in your favor, so...
However, you mentioned that if Morgana can get the Black Shield off right, obviously you can cancel the Alistair engage. But do you think it might have been more sensible then if Gorange had taken the Tahm Kench, for example?
Like, Tahm Kench is definitely better for the matchup, but I don't believe it's better for the comp in general, because Tahm Kench is not the sort of champion. Like, if you have Galio, you don't want a Tahm Kench. That's anti-synergy. You want to go in with Galio, you want to go out with Tahm Kench. You have a Mordekaiser, you just want to like prolong team fight and just kite around, so you don't want to have a Tahm Kench. Like, I would probably have preferred like a Braum here, because he offers a lot. Like, he can just dash in front of...
Braum was banned.
Braum was banned, yeah, but something the sort of that, like something along the lines of a champion that can actually be used to peel or to actually, like, either you don't pick the Galio and you pick for engage with your support, or if you pick Galio, you pick for support engage. If you don't pick Galio, then it's fine to have like this Morgana champion. So I really just like, I think they went a bit all over the place, because whenever Galio's gonna go in, like, who's he gonna ult? Like, it's really hard to do a proactive play with Galio if you don't have like a melee support who's gonna go into the thick of things. So, despite really liking the early game proactiveness that Caeli is setting up, or the mid game proactiveness that Caeli is setting up to do, it's really only Sin who can jump in. And if Sin jumps in and gets caught, now that the Galio ultimate no longer offers a damage reduction, it doesn't matter if Galio comes in, because the fight's probably gonna, like, Sin's probably gonna be dead by the time he arrives. So I think the draft is somewhat weird.
Right, so moving, I'm gonna continue from what you mentioned about Lee Sin. You mentioned that Jester likes to get in the face. He plays those kind of early game junglers like the Camille, like the Xin, like Lee Sin.
Yep.
He is playing into Sejuani. What do you expect to see in terms of the jungle matchup? Will he be invading, etc., etc.?
Well, as we talked about, I believe Ra is gonna have the pressure top lane, and Fallen Angel and One Trick Pawn Star gonna have the pressure in bot lane. So it's gonna be really hard for Jester to actually walk up and try to engage, because everybody's probably tried to play jungle or being auto jungle, and then you're like, hey, I'm gonna invade, and then suddenly everybody's from the enemy team is in your head, and you're like, wait a minute, what happened? So I do believe that he's probably gonna try and invade anyway. That's not what I'm saying, but I believe that it's not gonna be that that's safe for him to do, or the most consistent thing to do. So I do believe that he should have the control over Skull Crabs though, and he's probably, like, he has the skirmishing advantage up until, like, I don't know, when Sejuani gets immensely tanky and is basically just unkillable. But at that point, the Sin is only an insect butt at that point anyway, so he's definitely gonna bully Sejuani and can probably, like, I actually think that initiating a vertical jungling on the top side of the map for the Sin is probably like the ideal situation, because then Urgot has a really hard time punishing the Urgot, and can punish the Urgot, or the Mordekaiser. If Urgot can't punish Mordekaiser, then Mordekaiser just gets a free ride for a while and just allows to scale up.
And so essentially, the draft for Aries, because it's going to push in so much, essentially helps Sejuani to not be invaded, because they can just collapse on. And obviously, League of Legends is a team game, but you don't often see that in solo queue. But when you do play competitively like this, you do see a lot more vision control and all of that kind of stuff.
Yes.
And so, final question then regarding the two junglers as we are now loading up into game is, who should Baby Sam and Jester be focusing on in terms of lanes?
That depends on the game plan of both teams, because if you're Baby Sam, you have to assess, okay, do we want to scale or do we want to try and punish? Because he has to evaluate that at every point, because Sure, he could go bot lane, for example, and see, okay, if they mess up, we can probably kill them. Also, when we see, like, little Isen has pressed the attack on Kai'Sa, which I think is a very poor choice against Lucian Alistar, because every damage you take is just gonna stick in a lane where you are not in that situation to win. So if I'm Baby Sam, I'm probably gonna be like, okay, my most reliable setup is bot lane. So I'm probably gonna go bot lane. I'm probably actually gonna play towards bot side and get pink wards in the bot side river, probably in the side bush in mid lane. Because I also want to set up so my Orianna doesn't get abused by the Lee Sin and the Gala if she positions bad.
Can I just quickly mention though, Lil Eisen has started with Doran's Ring on the Kai'Sa.
Wait, are you in game yet?
I am in game.
Wait, I'm
Are
not.
you not? Oh, okay. Okay, so I'll just say Galio and Kai'Sa have taken the Doran's Ring. And top lane, you've got Mordekaiser who's got the Doran Shield. So, again...
Oh, I'm in game now.
Does it make sense then for Kai'Sa to take a Doran's Ring?
No.
No, I like that. Quick and concise.
Yeah, so no, because like you're gonna get pushed to tower. It's hard to last it under the tower with Doran's Ring, and you're probably not gonna be poking. You just want to survive. You should take Doran's Shield and you should take Fleet Footwork and just survive.
Yeah, because that's what I was expecting. You always see Kaisers, because they are weak early game, they do take that Doran's Shield. However, one last thing to mention as we're going to start to see junglers start their buffs, is you only have one teleport from either side, as Mazarox has opted on the Orianna to take the cleanse, and Hunike has gone for the ignite on the Mordekaiser.
Yeah, and talking about the ignite and the Mordekaiser, I think that's a interesting choice, because he could just have gone for the teleport whenever his team's in the position to take Drake, rotate down, take the Drake, run mid lane, take a tower, teleport top lane, and lose very slightly. But by going for the ignite in a matchup like this is what we talked about. Hunike is just gonna be like, yeah, this matchup is insane. Like when all of us just like scratching our head and being like, what are you doing, Hunike?
Right. So we're already seeing Fallen Angel trying to get off a bit of damage. He's chipped off a little bit of health from the Morgana, but Sejuani now is going to be taking that Scuttle Crab.
Yes.
And Lee Sin going for the vertical jungling, as you mentioned, taking the Krugs at the minute, and Sejuani now just sitting in the river bush, looking to have going to try and get off a gank on Holberg if he does get a little bit too aggressive in that lane.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Morgana before. I quickly just want to touch upon the fact that he has taken the Spellbook, which is something I've seen Orange do quite a lot. I'm not that big a fan of it, but with this comp, like, you have a pretty decent, like, you can just switch to Smite on Morgana, bring Jester down in Hunike, and then just take a Drake super early in the game, and then just try and snowball directly from there. And I potentially think that's the idea. Just use Mordekaiser ult on the Drake, and just have double smite. That's a missed cannon I saw. But
oh yeah, I was about to say he missed it. He went for the W, and he missed that. That is.
Oh, he missed the taunt.
And Holberg and Jester are going to possibly pick up the Orianna, and the Galio will pick up the kill.
That's real.
And we've got a game pause, so I'm guessing.
No, that's from Lee Sin.
Is that from Lee? Yeah, he was standing still for a bit, so.
Yeah, but that was exactly what we talked about. If you miss position, if you go too far forward, you're doomed. Like, they just... This was exactly what we talked about. And even in panic, he burns his cleanse too. Yeah. And now, Drain begins. Did you remember I said, hey, if he dies once, he's probably gonna die 10 times. Can we start counting now, or... Like,
I think we can start counting now, yeah.
Yeah, like, because we saw Holberg, he knew, like, his jungle were topside, and his wave were in a really bad spot. He's just like, okay, I'm just gonna step back here. He just sat in the middle of the lane, just waiting for the wave to push back. And Masarock, the first thing he did, whenever he stacked the wave and began pushing out, he was like, hey, let me go up and hit the Galio with my auto attacks instead of putting down a ward. And then he dies, using both sums whenever when he actually were dead, so...
And now, if you are Mazarock, you have to be so scared just of any chance of Jester coming in. Because, as you mentioned, you have no summoner spells.
Yeah, which is probably the worst case scenario for immobile scaling mage.
Yeah. And I'm just trying to take a look at the CS. It's all pretty even, not too much is happening bot lane. But again, I do want to touch on the Doran's Ring of Kai'Sa. You mentioned that if Morgana can land her Dark Binding, Kai'Sa will have a free W. So would the Doran's Ring be a little bit useful in that sense that you can get a bit more damage off from your W?
Yeah, like, it's not... I don't want to call the Doran's Ring bad, because I know why you do it. It's so that you can keep continuously throwing out your abilities. So I know there's some sense to it and some merit to it, but I would much rather just have seen the footwork and the Doran's shield, because if Fallen Age and One Trick Pawn Star actually played this lane, like I don't want to say that they're playing it bad, but if they played it optimally, this lane would be really.
Just
really
going to
hard.
mention we've got Baby Sam. He's been sitting in the top lane bush for a while. Hunika is forced to flash. Baby Sam tries to get the Winter's Wrath off, but Hunika is just too far out. And I guess a quick flash from Hunika saves him from losing too much HP.
Yes, definitely. So right now, like, if you're Baby Sam, you have to be very worried. Whatever, I can't say that word. You have to be cautious of which lane you gank, because if the Sin is there, probably just like get straight up out trade and just lose, and that would be like worst case scenario right now. What could happen?
And as you mentioned that you have Jester, he saw that Baby Sam was topside, and he's just gone straight down to Baby Sam's Kraken and said, "Fine, I'll take that CS. Thank you very much."
We even see right now Holbad with his vision mid lane, or with his pressure mid lane, just walks in, watches the Wave. He's like, "Hey, Sejuani's right here." So this gives Hunika, like, he's just like, "Okay, I'm just gonna base then.
It's
Nobody can
Mazarok.
punish me." Oh.
I was about to say Mazarok might get caught out by Jester there, but he didn't walk too far out.
Yeah, but and right now, Jester, he has the pressure in mid lane, so he's just pathing straight to the Scarlet Crab. We even see Baby Sam's like, "Nope, I can't do anything about that," and he is actually spotted right now bot lane.
Oh, and Baby Sam's going to come bot,
That's
but
a great binding.
Great Dark Binding, yeah. And threat averted.
Yeah.
We've got top lane. Mordekaiser has picked up his first item, which are the Sorcerer's Boots, the Sorcerer's Shoes. And, oh, this is very nice. I think Jester's going to let Holberg take Raptors? No? Okay. I thought I saw an assistance ping there, so... Oh, very nice jungler.
Yeah, but so I just want to mention the fact that this Doran's Ring idea, it all hinges on, like, do I believe that Fallen is a good Lucian player? Because sure, like, if you're playing against somebody who's not like that good at the champion, you can just like get a free ride through lane as Kai'Sa. So maybe that was the idea. I don't know, but I still think it's very disrespectful if you play against somebody who. Again, I don't want to say he's bad, but somebody who definitely knew the ins and outs of the champion. I think it could be, like... I think that choice alone could have probably lost him lane.
And we've got the first Drake, it's up, and it's in true Serenity gaming fashion, it is an Infernal Drake. Who do you think that favours more?
Like, that depends on who secures it, because if we see, for example, we know Holbad has pressure mid lane, so if we see him pushing out mid lane, rotating bot with an ultimate, and then just picking up some 2 kills, like, at that point, it's so good, because right now, we're in a phase where, like, the team of Caeli is so much stronger, and they definitely want to try and, like, set up a play. Whereas, if we see, like, in general, the Drake is really good for both teams, because whoever gets it just cements a really big lead in the game, so...
And you've got Baby Sam, he's sitting there in that ward as Alistair gets a really nice pulverize off. Morgana has been CC'd, Kai'Sa is forced to burn the heal, and Baby Sam's just too far away to really get anything off. Obviously he's level 5, so he doesn't quite have the Glacial Prison just yet. And now Jesse is going to try to go for Mazarok. No, he's too far off, and Mazarok has a ward in the... I'm not sure what that bush is called, the one next to the pixel bush anyway.
That was a really insane Black Shield from Go Orange. That just saved the license for having to use his flash. But they're on the Infernal Drake right now, and there's no TP from Hunika, so this is a 4v5.
And it's going to be a 4v4 at the second, but Panstar does get Dark Binded by Goran, and Mazarok completely misses the Orianna ult. Oh, Hodberg's going to dive in. He's going to get off as Kai'Sa ults, and he's going to pick up Baby Sam. surely he does, but now Galio is going to... Hodberg's going to ult, but yeah, Baby Sam's already dead. Sorry, I was just going to say, that was a really poor shockwave from Mazarox there. Yes. If he had just saved it, he could have been extremely valuable. I mean, any ult is valuable in a team fight, and if he had his ult up there.
Yeah, but what happened there, like, we just talked about that Caeli were, at this point, a lot stronger than the Aries lineup, and what ends up happening is exactly, like, Orianna, her only value right now is her shockwave. She could have just placed her ball forward and then just forced the enemy team to path around it, giving them enough time to secure the Drake and then path out. But he didn't, like, he just completely whiffs it. And as you say, like, any ultimate is better than that, right?
Yeah.
And in the start of the fight, Alistar doesn't have his ultimate and he gets caught out and dies. And like at that point, you just have to concede the Drake, or at least just, like, everybody gets out and the only player left in the pit is the Serenity, and then just try, like, hope that she can secure it. Like, that win probably as bad and was probably executed as bad as possible. And it just, like, right now we have a 2.2k gold lead for Caeli, which is devastating since they are the scaling come.
And you've got Holberg, he's already picked up his proto belt.
Yeah, like, he's really, really strong.
Ooh. Ooh. He gets rooted
down. That's a tilter.
Ooh. He gets the final shot of the lights of the culling, hits Gorange and picks up the kill.
Talking about a tilter, I thought it was Fallen Angel who'd be tilted, but I think it's Gorange. He put on his dancing shoes, but just got pinned by the last.
And we're going to have a fight between Baby Sam. Jess is going to get caught out. Baby Sam's going to get off as much damage as he can initially. We're going to get a teapot. That's going to be Hodberg coming in. Jess is going to dive in. Is he going to die from that? No, he's not. He's going to survive just long enough. Gorange is going to land the Dark Binding. Baby Sam is going to dash away. And Hyung is forced to flash. I think he's going to be no kill. That is... But now look at this, Mazrov's getting caught out by the Galio. He does have flash and he's forced to burn the flash and the cleanse once again. I think if you're Caeli, you will be fairly happy with that.
Definitely. But that play, Jester, he was so hesitant to pull the trigger. Had he just kicked immediately and kicked Serenity and put her into the face of Mordekaiser on the opposite side of the wall, like, in the bush, just kick her up towards your tower, then she has to flash over the wall immediately and just get a free flash. Like, he was so hesitant that he nearly died before he even got in.
And then again, that aggressive play straight after, but he just managed to survive. But you have, if you're Caeli, you've just forced 3 flashes from the side of Aries. And Mazarox, again, doesn't have a single sum. Meanwhile, Hodberg has both of his sums up.
Yeah, but, you know, we give a lot of credit to that, but I really think that we either have to say that Holberg is playing this very poor because either he should not be pushing all the time and just, like, freezing the wave close to his town, be like, okay, Jester, I think you should come mid lane, just ping both sides of the lane pushes and be like, okay, Orianna can never walk up, lose all CS, or she moves up and will kill her. And if he does not do that, then push the wave and then just roam. Like, he's just sitting in lane in vision. You're like, okay, they know I'm not bot lane right now, so they don't have to respect me. So I really think that he's not playing this optimally.
Right, and Jester's just picked up the Rift Herald, so do you reckon that's going to just be placed mid lane as soon as Mazarox backs?
Well, I actually think that you potentially want to put it in bot or top lane right here, because I think you're fine with having Galio in the mid lane for now, but I really think you want to free up your bot lane.
Oh, so look at this, Gorange being extremely aggressive in the bot side. The Black Shield stops Panstar's Pulverize, and Galio's going to turn up as well with the ult. Oh, Panstar with a great flash to dodge the Galio dash.
That was exactly what we were talking about. That was what we wanted to see. Now put down the Rift Herald and let's go.
And just as you say that, here comes the Rift Herald.
Yeah, this frees up your bot lane. You now rotate your bot lane top lane, so you get the Australian lanes, and you get Mordekaiser bot lane. And you want to have Mordekaiser bot lane because the next Drake, or the next thing that's going to come up is the top bot. Yeah, the next Drake that's going to get up is top lane. Yeah, the next objective that's going to come up is the Drake bot lane, so you want to have your Mordekaiser bot lane to secure this.
Yeah, and the Rift Herald are actually not going to be enough to take down the turret. Obviously, turret plating is still up, so a bit of extra defenses for Mr. Turret, Outer Turret there, as Jester's going to get caught out. He tries to get off poke onto Baby Sam. Baby Sam's going to flash, and again,
that was a missed shockwave.
Orianna put the shield onto Baby Sam, and I thought that would have landed actually. That was very close. Just avoiding that. I feel like that one was unlucky for Mazarok.
Yeah.
Oh, but look at this. Planstar's getting really low. Gorange lands the Dark Binding, and Little Eisen, as you mentioned in the pre-game show, will be able to hit that W, and a lot of damage coming off. And now look at that, Lucian is CC down. Little Eisen going to get off as much damage. Does he have the ult? He does have the ult, and he will destroy him. Planstar knocks Little Eisen into the turret range, but it's not going to be enough. He has been ignited. Can he get off one more shot, Gorange? He can't. And Little Eisen will have to be satisfied with just one kill there. And Jester picks up the kill.
Yeah, so that's just like pure commitment from the bot lane. They just kept getting binded over and over, but...
Yeah. I mean, Gorange has been really, really good with his Dark Binding so far this game.
Yeah, he's had a great accuracy with them. But... Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and that's the first turret going over to the side of Caeli. And again, it was a good play by Lee Sin as well. He was in the right place at the right time, and he picked up the kill.
Yeah, definitely. But right now, as we're talking... Oh, that's an all-in trade top lane. But I don't think Raja's win those.
No, I think Hunika will pick that up. Again, Rylai's versus Black Cleaver seems to favour Rylai's.
But like, I do believe that Raj should probably have picked up a healing reduction item, since like a lot of Mordekaiser's strength is just like so hard to poke. But that may just be me and my inexperience against the champion. But like right now, I really just want to see Mordekaiser rotate down bot lane, because then that means that Urgot has a really long lane, and if Urgot has a long lane, it's really hard for him to actually like. He can't really walk up the same that he could in the top lane, because that's a way shorter lane. So if you make the Australian lanes now, then you send your bot lane mid, put Galio bot lane, and just keep it that way, because Orianna really dislikes being in the side lane.
And again, I'm just going to mention that the top outer turret was taken there by Hyungra's Zombie, which is a passive from the Mordekaiser ult, isn't it? And
yeah.
So, I mean, if you're Caeli now, you picked up the two outer turrets on the sideways. So, do you think that they should just really push the mid lane now just to get the third outer turret, or just start split pushing, or just keep on going as they are?
As I said, I really feel like you want to force the Orianna to go in a side lane, because first of all, she's really weak right now. She doesn't even have the Morellonomicon. And second of all, like when Orianna's in the side lane, she's so vulnerable to any sort of ganks.
Oh, Lee Sin is in the river bush, and Mazarok, I think he must have had vision.
Orange. That was a poor black shield.
And he is gonna fall so quickly.
That's a flash forward from Pawnstar, not from
Fallen Angel being
Alien.
extremely aggressive. There's a culling. Hodberg is gonna try to tank as much as he can, but Lucian will just dash over. Fallen Angel takes a turret shot, and Jester will pick up the return kill. But overall, a good trade from Aries, picking up 2 kills for 1. And 600 bounty gold.
Look at Hunika, he's coming in from behind. That's a Galio ult.
Right, gets the CC down, but Hodberg, he's going to try to get off as much damage. It's so close. Jester's been ignited. Can Hodberg stay alive for long enough? No, he can't, and it's going to be 2 kills. That's a double kill to Hunika. Oh, Hunika, yeah, sorry, as I was looking at what was happening under the turret, Hunika turned up mid lane and caught a double kill, so that was good from the side of Caeli then, wasn't it?
What, sorry? What?
So that was good from the side of Caeli.
Yeah, like, yeah, because... Oh my
god. That was disgusting.
This is why I love Hunika. He's gonna go for these plays. Like, that's my boy. We take those plays. But like, yeah, that's really good for Caeli, because, yeah, well, you traded down 2 kills first, but then you got like 3 kills back, and you got a tower. So you could have cleaned it up by not like Orianna should have Black Shield the Sejuani ult, and after she died, like, don't be there, don't try and help her out, she's dead, and then just reset instead of giving over 2 more kills.
Or Gorange missing the
Yeah, he's
stun onto
tilted.
this.
Yeah, it's over.
That's it. FF 15. Oh, we're past 15. Just FF.
It's just FF in general. Yeah, but nah, I do believe that Caeli's the kind of team that like they ride together and they die together. Like you're never gonna see one of them go in and die without the others. But right now is actually the hardest phase for the Caeli team because for them to actually do good, you have to assist this Mordekaiser. Like this Mordekaiser pick right now is your win condition. You want him to have as much pressure in the side lane because he's just gonna take Ra and then he's gonna do the like his imitation of an Urgot ult. Like he's just gonna murder him, absolutely destroy him in the side lane.
Oh, and Lil Eisen turning up top lane. Will he have a little go at Hyungra? I don't think you really want to 1v1 an Urgot if you're an ADC.
Probably not, no. But well, as I said, like right now it's all about vision control from the side of Caeli. You just have to get the bot side lit up as a Christmas tree every single entry, so that Mordekaiser can just do whatever he wants. Oh, that's a
Oh, Jess has turned up, and Hyungra just a bit late with the dash, but the knockback from Lee means that Eisen will miss the W. However, Jester will pick up the kill. Lil Eisen just had to be a little bit careful there with his dashes. I think he did have to burn the ult just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, but still a really good play. But what we saw right there is what.
Oh, we're gonna get a collapse bot side. Oh, that is a great glacial prison from Baby Sam, and Hunika is gonna fall. He's got a bit of shielding. Oh my god, that is a lot of health regen, but it's not gonna help him out at all. As Holberg and Gorange just decide, no, we're going to leave you.
Yeah, but this exactly what you saw there, the massive burst healing. That's why you should get some sort of healing reduction against this Mordekaiser. That's what I really want to see right now. But
I mean, Hunika's
yeah,
got his second item now, which is the Leandries, and he's also got a stopwatch, which he didn't burn there. I'm not sure if he actually had it, or maybe he's just bought that now.
I know, but I think he just bought it. But I think he should just anyway. I think he should just accept that he's dead right there, 100%.
Yeah, and I'm just taking a look at CS, and it's fairly even. Hunika is a little bit ahead of Hyungra on CS, but otherwise, apart from that, it's all fairly even. It's just the kills and the gold, and gold is quite important, but it is on the side of Caeli. And right, so getting a bit of a fight over vision around the Drake pit.
Oh.
And Hodberg is going to get off a fair bit of damage. Can they pick up the Lucian? Fallen Angel. CC down for so long. That's the Morgana Dark Binding for you. Lil Eisen has the opportunity to ult in. Fallen Angel and Panzer very, very low.
This could be the Drake for Mordekaiser. And but that's scary.
Look at Ra top side, picking up a lot of damage, and as you mentioned, Hunika doesn't have his ult yet. He's got about 10 seconds before it's up.
Oh, this is a giant mind fast slash.
Oh, yeah.
But what I tried to say before I figured out I was muted was that it's actually fairly disappointing from Holbad that he's only up about 30 CS after 22 minutes, where he had the complete control of the lane every single minute of the game. Like, I do believe that Holbad should just have froze the wave and been like, okay, what are you gonna do now? Like, you just force the hand of the Orianna and just punish her continuously.
Oh, Pansar's getting caught out around the Baron pit now.
Or
trying to get close to Eisen, and there's another missed command shockwave from the Orianna. Hunika has popped the stopwatch, can just get the damage. Galio's gonna ult in. Hunika is staying alive for so long, and Caeli are going to win this. Baby Sam will get out just with his life. But yeah, as you said, there's the Baron, because Hunika does have the Drake as well. So even more damage. And this game, you would feel now, is going to snowball to the side of Caeli.
Wait, game announcer 1 killed Dragon Red minion. Interesting. But
sorry, what was that?
It was just a game announcer. In the chat it says, a minion, Infernal Drake, has slain the Infernal Drake.
Oh.
That's interesting. Yeah, but as you said, like, this game's pretty much done and dusted now. Like, again, your win condition, Hunika, isn't super fed. Send him in one lane, and then just be like, okay, what are you gonna do? And then just wait. Wait for Hunika to either run over Ra, because Ra has 0 magic resist, and if it's Orianna, well, if he ever lands one spell and just pops everything, flash and murders her. So, like, nobody can stop Hunika at this point, so Just play towards him, let him do his thing, and then just win the game.
And I am going to have to point a finger slightly at Mazrox because, I mean, maybe he's been unfortunate, but he's missed all 3 of his shockwaves that he's tried so far.
Oh,
so,
yeah, and he doesn't even have a single completed item yet because he keeps buying components for 8 items, and he's now blinded. He doesn't have
Gorange is going to have to burn the stopwatch, but Oriana will fall and Gorange will be able to escape with his life. But here comes Alistair, he gets the 3-man knock-up, and he will have to flash away. Holberg is going to be frozen in the glacial prison. That will buy Aries a little bit more time. But look at Hunica in the top lane. He's really pushing that in right now. And you've got Baby Sam, Fallen Angel, and Ponsa. They're going to collapse on him. Can he escape? Ponsa
They have no healing reduction. He's not gonna die.
And here comes Young Rai. Says, well, I'll have a go. Let's 4v1 this Fed Mordekaiser. And Mordekaiser says, well, I'll just get out anyway.
Yeah, but this is the problem. You have no healing reduction. Mordekaiser is 99% healing. Like, sure, he does a lot of damage, but if you do not reduce the healing, you're never gonna kill him. Yeah. We have seen time and time and time again how great his burst healing is. Just get an Executioner's Calling. It's not that hard.
And turrets are just falling all over the board now. Hunica somehow managed to kill the Lucian. He barely did anything. And there's the one inhibitor's possibly going to fall, which means Jess is going to pick up the inhibitor turret in the mid lane. Fallen Angel is possibly going... No, sorry, that is the ghost of Fallen Angel. And that's 3 inhibitors going to go down. And that is a great Baron power play.
That's what we call a Baron power play indeed. But like, it's really disappointing to see Mazarok play this champion, or it's very underwhelming, because at this point, he decided to go for 100 component. Oh! That's a
there
huge
we
combo.
go, there's a shockwave. Jess is going to get out, but Gorange will die. Hunica is in the thick of it. And Hyung Ra has died as well. Holberg has picked up Lucian, and even with finally a great shockwave, it still goes in the favour of Caeli. They're just so far ahead, and I think that's going to be game.
It most likely is going to be as they just turn out and kill the Nexus now. But as I was trying to say, like, if you play Oriana, she's a champion that requires scaling, she requires a slow game, and she requires a lot of farm. And none of these things was in this game. Like, by the end, she got her Morello Nomicon. Don't go Morello Nomicon first item on Oriana. Like, that's not what you do.
She had built the Lost Chapter going for that Ludens Echo, and then she was like, oh wait, there's a Mordekaiser, let me get the Oblivion Orb. And then it was like, actually no, you know what, I'm gonna get my my 2 rods for what is it, Rabadon's Death Cap. And it was like, well, just, you know, build an item.
The problem is that she went for the healing reduction, which is a way more expensive item for mages, instead of just Fallen Angel being like, hey, I can invest 800 gold, and I even got some kills and stuff, so I'm slightly ahead of the curve. Let me just get that. But like, so it's really poor managed that like Morello Namika is like a 3,000 gold item, whereas Executioner's Calling is an 800 gold item. Like, if you add it up, it gives the same effect basically. Like, why not go for the 800 gold item? Like, I'm failing to understand that.
So, we're going to be taking a short break in a bit, but just before we go into that break, what do you think Aries should do differently heading into Game 2?
Well, there were many things that went wrong. I think they should not pick scaling. Instead, I think they should just pick for lane, because you know that that's what Caeli is going to do. And if you refuse to do that, then they have to shore up the early game and be like, okay, we know that they're going to be up in our face, and we know mid lane was what got hard abused, so either we have to shore up our mid lane, play more defensive, or we have to pick a champion that facilitates this more aggressive playstyle. So probably going to fix up the mid lane and banning the Mordekaiser, since they clearly did not know how to play against it, or actually how to even like reduce his healing, which is like a major part of his kit.
So we have seen Mazrox. He did play in his first game of Wintersplit. He did play the Syndra. So do you expect that he might take the Syndra over the Oriana for Game 2?
I would prefer to see a Syndra. She's a way better champion just in general at this state. Like, she's in a way better state. Also, she just like, Oriana requires so much scaling and so much free time that's just not given in this very quick-paced game of League of Legends. So I think it's a lot better if you pick the Syndra, because you can actually like punish on Syndra.
So we're going to be heading into a short break, so guys, do not go anywhere. Just get yourself some snacks, and in a short while we will be heading into game 2 as Caeli look to do a clean sweep of Aries and move up to the top of Division 2. See you in a short while.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll see the horizon, turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands, and on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on welcome to the world, no heroes and villains. Welcome to the war, we've only begun. So pick up your weapon and face it. There's blood on the ground, go and take it. You get one shot to make it out alive. So higher and higher you chase it. It's deep in your bones, go and take it. This is your moment, now is your time. So prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Push through heaven. Rise, rise. They will remember you. Welcome to the climb up, reach for the summit. Visions brave, the one false step lead the end. Or do you know yet? Or do you want it? And when the giants call to ask you what you're worth, or do you know yet? Win or die. Prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Push through hell and rise, rise. They will remember you. Prove yourself and rise, rise. Pick up your weapon and face it.
Welcome back, guys, to game 2 between Caeli and Aries, as Caeli look to end the best of the 3 now. Bimsa, do you expect Caeli to make any changes at all to their roster after that? What was almost a stop?
Well, I would say that I do not know which substitute players they have. The only one I know they have is the Aries substitute, and like for that game, you could argue that, well, the AD carry was not that impactful of. The game was not decided from the AD carry perspective, so you could change the AD carry out if you wanted to, but also, if that's the main AD carry, I would suspect them to just keep playing with them so he can get more practice.
And Aries have banned that Mordekaiser, that was their first ban, and understandable as well.
Yeah, it gave them a lot of trouble. And that was what we talked about last game. If you don't know how to play against it, and it's something your opponent enjoys playing, just ban it. Like, just makes it easier for yourself.
And guys, I just want to let everyone know the Twitch chat is working again. So if you refresh your Twitch stream, get some hype going in there. I want to see some predictions and that kind of stuff. But I also like this. Caeli have banned the Syndra. So we mentioned at the end of last game, we would kind of like to see Mazarok play the Syndra. But Caeli are saying, no, we're going to take the Syndra away, play the Orianna again.
Yep. Yeah, as we talked about, Syndra is a champion that we could see him play, and if you are Caeli, you're like, hey, his Orianna performance was like worse than bad, so let's force him onto that champion if at all possible again.
And Alistair has been banned by Caeli. I mean, Caeli did take... Yeah, sorry, it was Aries that took the Alistair. They played the Alistair. As we see a Singed. Is that going to be locked in, though? No, they've changed it to Sejuani. But again, don't forget, that Sejuani could be a flex pick. We did see Gorange play Sejuani. So perhaps One Trick Panstar will consider it as well. And Teemo, oh come on, they're just trolling now with their picks.
But you know, like if there's one guy that I would expect to play Teemo, he's actually in this lobby. It's my boy Hunike. Like Hunike is the kind of guy he'd be like, hey, Teemo's a good matchup here. And you're like, what in the world are you talking about? He's like, trust me. I'm like, no, don't. And just knocks in. You're like, oh god.
And he'd probably end up carrying completely. Like every time someone's on low HP, they'd end up stepping onto a shroom.
Yeah, like, you know, that's actually like the most, like, that's the funniest thing. If you have this team who went like 0-8 in lane, you're like, what are you doing? And then suddenly somebody just steps on a shroom. Like, have you ever seen like Boy when he gets hyped? He's like, let's go! Like that's basically every single teamo I've ever seen feed who just like kills somebody by a shroom. Like, it's so amazing to watch. Like, it's just like, you just get so hyped. I love it.
So we're seeing an Evelyn being hovered. Jinx has been locked in by Caeli. So Jinx, last time they took the Kai'Sa, now they're taking Jinx, as we might see a Gragas, which would mean that Sejuani... Gragas has been locked in, so Sejuani support?
Or Gragas support or Gragas top lane. Could also be
True.
Gragas mid lane.
Or Gragas mid lane, yeah. And
But-
Jarvan's been banned. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, so one of them is definitely jungle. But I want to touch upon the Jinx because Kai'Sa is okay because like she can kite for herself, but it's like Jinx is just too much. Like when you pick Jinx into Sejuani Lucian, so it's like okay, I'm gonna have a bad laning phase, and if Go Orange ever mistimes his Black Ship, I'm just gonna die. Like I don't know what's going through the head of Lil Eisen, but he's like, whatever, get me this champion. Like I imagine the coach just being like, but you're gonna die. Pick me Jinx. And like, but you can pick me Jinx. I said, you're like, okay, you got it, boss.
I mean, Lil Eisen, he does play a fair bit of Varus in solo queue, so I mean, Varus would have given him at least, you know, he's got the ult, it'd give him some kind of survivability in lane. But Aries have banned the Lee Sin, so clearly they thought, we do not want to see Jester on that Lee Sin again. That was just too much for us.
Yeah, like Jester was just what started the snowball. Like he was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Okay,
a pretty
Aries,
big straw that is.
Aries flashing a Vel'Koz and Evelynn, and it's going to be a Vel'Koz that's taken. Right, so we mentioned support. Vel'Koz, Gragas, and Sejuani can all be played in support. What are they doing? They're just...
Okay, so I'm going to assume that it's Vel'Koz mid lane. And
you assume that is terrible. No, okay, yeah, so go on.
I like it more than the Orianna, but I still don't like it that much because, like, sure, Vel'Koz, he can just like he can walk up to the wave and just be like W and then walk away, but it's like I take that back. I actually think it's alright.
Will
like,
a Vel'Koz ult, will the ult, the laser, even do anything against the Galio?
Yes.
Okay.
It'll completely murder him. But now I actually think this is alright. Yeah, I like it more than the Orianna, just because like you spike hard in the mid game. That's
we're gonna see a Camille in jungle and a Nico. Yes, Nico, please, 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 go on.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Make him sad. Make him sad. Make him sad.
It.
Make him sad. I mean, what? I said that out loud.
Am I cast a curse? I mean, we have seen Mazrox. He has played a fair bit of Nico in. Right, I'm just gonna FF now. I'm off, guys.
Okay, so look at the champions. Where do you think they're gonna go? Because I'd be down for like a Vel'Koz top action.
Okay, my prediction: Lissandra top, Gragas mid, Sejuani jungle, Vel'Koz support.
Wait, you're just going balls to the walls. Wait a minute, let me see. I think it's gonna be. I think. Sejuani jungle. Could also be Sejuani top lane actually, but Sejuani jungle probably. Then Gragas top lane, Lissandra mid lane, and Vel'Koz bot lane.
Lissandra mid. Yeah, I feel like it's going to be Lissandra or Gragas flexing between the top and mid.
I'd be down to see AP Sejuani mid though. Not gonna lie.
Ooh. I mean, you're not really good. You can't. I don't think we're going to see a Gragas or Lissandra support. I think that's just too much. Too much.
Well, I've seen more crazy stuff, but I've played solo queue, so that's probably why.
Oh, I think Catch has just messaged in the chat that I don't deserve to be able to do it. He's going to be the first person to cast on a Nico, and if that's the case, I'm going to take the Silas then. But
tips on Silas. But like, if they had knocked in Nico, did we have to like call Kashka then, bring him on the stream to a tricast?
Yeah, actually, I guess we have to go to game 3 now because I need to see a Nico. I need to see the Nico somewhere.
Yeah, I'll remember that. If I ever see if I ever see Nico and Kashka's not casting, I'm just gonna DM him on Twitter and be like, hey, Nico.
Right.
Basically, just gonna be like the Batman sign, like just like have instead of Batman, just be like the face of Nico, and Kashka's just like, yeah, I'm there.
I mean, I'm tempted to say, let's kind of consider what's going to happen in lanes, but we don't really know like, what's going to happen in lane because we don't know who's playing in what lane.
Well, that settles it. It is Gragas support.
Have they switched it around yet?
I suppose they're picking for themselves, so it's Lissandra top lane, Vel'Koz mid lane.
And Sejuani jungle. So, So no, I want to see Vel'Koz support just because I think you mentioned that Jinx doesn't have that maneuverability, the survivability, and I just feel that a Vel'Koz ult in the bot lane will just do a lot more of the mid. But you said that the Vel'Koz ult will burn through Galio as well, so
yes, it'll absolutely like demolish him. But if you look at the comp from Aries, if you're Jinx, like you're not happy. You're like, okay, so Thunder's gonna dive onto me. Vel'Koz's just gonna like ult. Gragas gonna ult me towards him. Serenity gonna ult. Shit, just gonna be flying around my ears, and you're just gonna like run for cover and hope you don't die, right? And then you look at your own comp, you're like, who's gonna peel for me? It's not gonna be Galio. It's not gonna be Morgana because like that's a black shield. That's it. And I was like, it's not gonna be Urgot. It's definitely not gonna be Camille. So you're just like, well, I'm left on my own right here.
Yeah, and it's gonna be Jinx pinball, isn't it?
Probably. Like this game, it's like if Jinx gets ahead, she's like as any other AD carry ahead. But if she falls behind, she's actually just gonna be a caster and just gonna get clapped around.
Yeah, and again we have that Lucian from Aries. So Aries decided that Lucian worked out. It was fine in the early laning phase. We'll just put a different support on instead of the Alistar. So do you expect Aries to win that bot lane then? Considering that it's either going to be a Vel'Koz or Gragas support.
Well, I expected them to win bot lane before, but they didn't, so... like, as long as Jinx don't go press the attack, I think that the lane can be somewhat even, because Morgana should always be able to black shield the Wintersplit from Braum, and then they should be able to walk somewhat easily out of it. But if Jinx get Wintersplit, it's like it's really bad for Jinx. It's really bad for Jinx.
Again, I'm super interested to see how this is going to turn out, but it does look like it's going to be a Gragas support. It's going to be Gragas support, isn't it?
Wait, what am I talking about? Wintersplit is Braum. Wait, what? I'm trolling, but okay, let me try again.
No, Winter's Wrath, that's a Sejuani W.
Yeah, but whatever. Let me try again.
Okay.
Let me rephrase. If you play against Gragas and you get body slammed, that's bad. If you play against Gragas and you have pressed the attack, which he's probably gonna take because whatever reason, that's bad because you're gonna get poked, and that's not fun. If you miss position against Gragas and Sejuani, that's bad because then you die. Like, I feel like
I'm hearing a lot of death in these scenarios.
Little Isen, whatever, just has to play really good to not get punished. And no offense to him, but I feel like that if Aries actually pressed their R key, I think it's really hard for him to stay alive in a fight.
So, right. So in terms of early and late game, I guess that's always something kind of important to go over. Who do you think has the favorable early and late games?
Well, looking at the early game, it's somewhat hard to say because like bot lane is favored from Aries, definitely. Mid lane is like the first couple of levels, Galio will have the priority, and then I think it will slowly just shift back to both champions just instant clearing the waves and like whatever. But Camille's gonna have she's gonna be out trade the Sejuani really hard, and then top lane is like, I think that the lane is pretty even and it's more like a skill matchup. But when it then comes to like mid game, the comp from Aries is so scary because imagine the Vel'Koz roaming down, and then you have the frozen tomb from Sandra, and then the glacial prison and just chain CC and this death disintegrating ray or whatever it's called over and just like raining hell upon a single person. Like if you get onto the Camille with just one of the ultimates, then the instant die. And then you just turn onto the next person and just use the next ultimate just to chain CC and just kill everybody. Like, yeah. You have to be very careful from Caeli not to just like give any opening.
Yeah, and you have to be super careful as well, because if that Vel'Koz is roaming, either going towards the top side or bottom side, you have to be on point and realize, right, Vel'Koz has disappeared, let's just back the hell off everything.
Yeah, but like, normally you wouldn't expect a Vel'Koz roam to be deadly, but I actually think in this instance it's going to be very dangerous because you just have so much CC to set it up. And like, Vel'Koz is a champion that does so much damage if he's just allowed to do a full rotation. And like, you can easily get off a full rotation but with Alessandra and Sejuani and Gragas. Like,
yeah, I mean,
there's so much CC.
If Vel'Koz and Sejuani can get a wombo combo off, and I do feel like this Aries team is kind of set up around one massive wombo combo.
Yeah. Or at least just like a fight where you just continuously pick off people and burst them down before they can like react.
I could just see, and we've got a team fight, and everyone on Caeli's dead.
Yeah. Like, it's gonna be like, oh, that's one guy caught, bursted down. The next guy with the next ultimate dead. Okay, and another one, and another one, and like they're just gonna die one by one by one. Like, if Vel'Koz can position good in a fight, his ult does so much damage AOE. Like, if they have a really hard time stopping him. So if they do not stop his his just spray down everybody, it's gonna be like very hard for them to actually retaliate in the fight.
Yeah, I'm just starting to think now. What would be better in this in just in a team kind of fight sense, not in terms of if they're AD, AP, that kind of stuff, but an MF ult or the Vel'Koz ult. What would you rather have?
I think that I would rather have a Vel'Koz ult, simply because I would rather have Vel'Koz as a champion. Because like, yes, MF is just like, you just press ult and everybody just die, and I think it's a bigger radius of damage. But whereas like after that she's just like a zero range damage dealer. Like she's not gonna do anything. Whereas like Vel'Koz, he has like super low cooldown, so he's just gonna like spam and do a lot of true damage, and like he murders tanks, and it's like, yeah. I think overall he's just like a better vision.
Right, and just gonna quickly go over some of the spells. You've got the heals and ignite in the bot lane. Both top laners have gone for the teleport, but Mazarox again has opted against the TP and has gone with exhaust, while Holberg has taken teleport.
Well, that barrier on the Vel'Koz.
Oh, sorry, barrier, not exhaust.
That's questionable.
Yeah, I would have thought it'd be the other way around. Like, if you're Mazarox, you wouldn't be scared of the Galio. I mean, everything we've been building up to is all about Caeli being scared of Aries.
I'm pretty sure that whenever you play against Galio, you just instant pick cleanse, because like, you just don't want to be CC'd and locked down forever.
Well, that's what Mazarox did last game on the Orianna. He took the cleanse, so...
Yeah, but I'm not like, if he ever gets taunted by the Galio, he's gonna die before he can use his barrier. Like, there's no doubt about it.
I'm just gonna say, Holberg has a certain dominance on Mazarox. He's got off a bit of damage, but both junglers are going to start on their red buffs. Right. So
like, just
now,
to see the vision control right now already going out of the gates from Aries, that's actually beautiful. Like, they have complete information of whatever is going to happen. It's really beautiful to watch, actually.
Yeah, a lot of vision, but then again, they will run out of vision quite early on. So at about what 3.5 minutes, they will have no vision in that river.
Yeah, but this just provides a lot of early game information, like where's the enemy jungler.
Jester's going to contest for the Scuttle Crab. He's going to fight with Baby Sam, who smited that. I think
that was Camille.
Yes, they got it, and here Holberg is here. He's gonna get a knockup, and surely he's gonna kill Baby Sam. He does get Baby Sam eventually. There was no way he was getting out of that.
That's a disaster for the team of Aries. You could not let the enemy snowball like that.
Yeah, and again, we didn't really mention, but Jester does like to play the aggressive AD junglers like the Camille, like the Zin, and he's used that perfectly well at the start, just harassing Baby Sam, and it's got him killed. No, Jester on the junglers. He plays the AD junglers.
Yeah, like when you play a tank jungle, there's one thing you want to avoid at all costs, and that's dying early, especially against a skirmishing jungle like Camille. Like, if you die solo in that, oof, that's a big oof.
So, what do you expect to see now from Camille? Do you think it should be super aggressive in terms of invading, or?
Yes. Okay. Like, right now she's level 3, 20 CS, so that's like 5 camps, something to Serenity who has cleared 2. Like, go around and contesting everything at this point. It's like, oh, you want that? Well, I want that too. Like, it's really gonna be hard for Serenity to do anything now, and like, but you don't even have to invade. You can just like want everything and be like, if you ever go into the river, I'll just kill you.
And the bot lane of Aries are really pushing in onto Caeli, just getting off the damage. Panzer has a lot of range with his barrel roll. So But again, if Gorange can get off a nice stun, I'm sure Ison will get off a lot of damage.
Definitely.
Oh, but Baby Sam's coming in. He's going to walk in through that back route in the lane.
But just as stand here
bushes.
too, this could be a bloodbath, and it's definitely going to favor Aries, that's for sure.
There is a ward though in the brush nearer to the Caeli turret, so Baby Sam can't move forward, otherwise he will be seen. So how long is he just going to end up sitting there though?
For a while, but he only has camps top.
We've got a bit of fight around mid lane. Mazarok is going to take a fair bit of damage, but it will just end there. Meanwhile, Baby Sam's still sitting in that brush, get very patient.
Oh.
But that, are we seeing something? Yes, Fallen Angel, going to get a fair bit of damage. Gets rooted on the Jinx fire, the Jinx snapping trap things.
Jumpers.
Chompers. Oh, and look at this. Holberg gets the dash. Hits Mazarok. Mazarok has to burn the flash. He burns the barrier as well. I feel like it's wrong to say burns the barrier. Uses the barrier.
Yeah, probably, but, you know, Brahman stuff is not my strong side. That's why I cast League of Legends, but...
And again, Baby Sam is going to try to come in from behind Holberg, but oh no, he's going to contest the Raptors versus Camille. But surely
mid lane
he
is
can't.
fighting, jungle is fighting. This is really bad for Baby Sam. I think this is a boom in just like 15-minute FF. Like...
And if Baby Sam can get hit down by the Camille, Gallia will be able to get the knock-up possibly. Baby Sam is just too far away. I think... No, he gets taunted. No, he's going to escape. He's going to escape.
But like, everything is just going wrong right now.
But look how low Fallen Angel is in the bot lane. So, just so... We said it's going to be a massive skirmish.
What
and
are
now
you
so
doing?
Baby Sam... Is he going to get done? Jester! He gets the coup de grace in time and he will survive.
Baby Sam, what are you doing? He lost his mind. He went crazy.
And he's now 0-2 and Caeli are 3-0. And they're looking to just end the series here with game 2.
This early game is going as bad as it possibly could. Like, bot lane, you're losing. In a lane, you should win.
Yeah.
Mid lane, you should not die. Jungle, you should not be down 0-2 this at this point of the game. Like, it's going as bad as it possibly could. Even Vel'Koz is building tier. Like, he's gonna have no pressure for the next like 50 minutes. He's completely utterly useless.
We mentioned from the last game, you said that you would like to see something where they have a bit more presence early game, and they've had an even worse early game than they did last time. As Marox is missing everything, he's gonna get hit by the Galio Hero's entrance, and he gets shut down so quickly. The Dark Binding from Gorange just allowed Holberg to hit him with the Hero's entrance.
Like, I'm lost for words. Like, why would you go for that? Enemy support is there. That probably means there's...
Oh, like, look at this. Jester's going to contest the red buff. And he's just going to say, Baby Sam, okay, hit it. I'm just going to smite it away. And Baby Sam's still doing it.
Wait,
oh, no, he does smite it. Okay, Jester says, fine, I will try to kill you. He doesn't have the ult. I mean, obviously, if he gets a kill, he'll pick up red buff. But
Wait.
I feel like Jester should have thought that a bit more.
I think Jester just, like, turned off his brain there for a moment. But, you know, it happens. But, like, as we were talking about, like, this went so bad. And even Vel'Koz, as I said, he has tier. He's so completely useless. He has 0 stats, 0 mana regen. He has absolutely nothing. Then he walks into the enemy support, like, hey, nobody's gonna be here, right? Enemy mid lane shows up, he's like, oh, wait.
Let me just stay here for a bit longer.
Yeah, like, he's just like, oh, yeah. There's that guy. I forgot.
I just want to mention, because you did say that the bot lane is losing, but it is even on kills, even on CS, 55 to both AD carries.
But that means you're losing.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. You're playing Illusion. If you're not 4-0, it's a loss. Anyway, I think we're going to have a little fight in top with Unica. No, it's just a little trade.
A bit weird noodle right now.
And
but like... Yeah, it's so bad right now. Like, Baby Sam is sitting on a ruby crystal. That's all. And Jester has... He's very like he needs like 300 or 400 gold. Then he has his warrior, and it's like there's absolutely nothing Baby Sam can do. Every single lane that he's gonna go to, if he's being tracked by Jester, it's like whichever. Oh, that's a play mid lane. That's a really great ult.
And Mazarok's locked down from the Camille ult, and Holberg just says, fine, I'll just get a knock up and we'll take the kill.
That was really well played by Jester. Actually, like he dodged the knock up from Vel'Koz, but like as we said, like they're so far behind and they're itemizing non-optimally, and like they just fall so far behind, and then they build items that is not efficient, so like their effective gold value is even worse. Like it's really tragic actually.
Oh, Gragas is trying to go in on Goran. Here comes the ult from Fallen Angel, but he gets caught in the chomper, so that will negate a lot of the damage. But both of the bot lane for Caeli have their ults available.
Yeah, but I feel like Gragas is a champion. In the support world, he's really hard to play. Like, I've seen some really good Gragases who, like, they just look like they're 1v2 in lane. And I've seen some really bad Gragases who, like, they're just barely playing support, actually. Like, doing no damage, they can't engage, they can't really do anything.
Oh. So Juani's heading into the bot lane. Goran has just got off the Dark Binding, but here comes Baby Sam. Does he have the ult? I am pretty sure Lil Eisen is going to die, and he does. There's a Glacial Prison from Sejuani. Goran will be able to escape though. Can Fallen Angel get the damage? Sejuani's going to die from the turret. Gragas might also die. Goran has popped the Zonias, and Panstar is going to die as well.
That's an execute.
Oh, is it an execute? Okay, fine. Execute.
But I'm not sure, like, one trick Panstar is just like, hey, that's my kill now, yoink, and then he just took it from under the nose of his AD carry and he just died for it. Like,
yeah,
that was absolutely unnecessary.
Yeah. It's what you hate as an ADC, isn't it? When your support just keeps on picking up the kills. Like, one kill every now and then is fine, but it's just when they constantly take it, which you usually see with like Brand, Zyra, Pyke, those kind of supports.
Yeah, and you're like, what are you doing? Like, oh, sorry, my bad, I didn't mean to. You're like,
It was clearly accidental.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. No, what is it? Kill secure, not kill steal.
Yeah, obviously.
Right,
But,
so, I mean, Jinx has died once, Lucian hasn't. So, the bot lane's still fairly even, and as you mentioned, if you're only even, you're losing as the Lucian.
Especially when you're against Jinx, but I think we should touch a bit more on this mid lane, because you just see Mazurek, his HP right now, that's from one good trade from Hallberg. Like, it's so hard for him to actually, like, be in a situation where he can do anything. Like, he has to, right now, he just has to try and hold his wave so close to tower that he's not getting ganked, which is basically impossible against Camille. And then he just has to sit there.
As you mentioned, Camille, Jester and Gorange turning up in the bot lane. Jester does have the ult up, so maybe if she can get a good wall hop off, he might be able to lock down. And the Dark Binding does land. Galio is going to be ulting in, and he will take the Gragas.
What?
He's going to have a little shot on Fallen Angel, but Lucian gets the kill on Camille somehow. And now Hallberg's going to get caught out.
Hallberg flashed to try eat forward, and then he flashed at the end of his E to try and taunt the Lucian, but Lucian just dashed right past him and he just killed himself.
Baby Sam uses the Glacial Prison, but it's not going to be enough to get down Lil Eisen. But Lil Eisen taking a lot of damage, and he gets hit by the clutch Mazuruk's Q. And Caeli pretty much threw that. I mean,
what just happened?
The Galio ult wasn't even necessary, but then when he got it, he tried way too hard to engage on the Lucian. Now Lucian's 2-0 and 3. But look at top lane. Lissandra is going to get done by Hunica. Hunica doesn't even need to use the ult. He was on cooldown anyway, but
they traded top lane very heavily under the fight. But like Hallberg, that was.
And Jester has inted to try and take a Cloud Drake.
That's one of the times where like your teammates just drop the question mark in chat. They're like, what are you doing? But
I don't know. Like, I could understand if it was an Infernal maybe, but an Ocean.
But that was end. That was for sure. But like the play bot lane, I just want to turn back to it because like Hallberg eat forward and then flashed over Lucian, and Lucian dashed into his head because you're like, what are you doing? You're killing yourself to the tower, and then like Holberg just taunted mid-air and nothing happened and just died. Like, that was so perfect. Like,
but this has been a great turning point for Aries now, because all of a sudden they're kind of back in contention. They've got Lucian, who is their strongest early game champion in their team comp, and he's strong. He's 3-0-3. He's picked up the Black Cleaver now, so hopefully he can get off a bit of damage in these skirmishes, which is what we mentioned Aries are playing for.
yeah. Like, finally Vel'Koz picked up a lost chapter now, and his tier, like, how many stacks does he have? He has just shy of 300 tiers, and he even went lucidity boost. Like, this man right now is the same value to his team as a caster minion. Like, he does 0 damage, he has 0 like mana regen, he has 0 sustain, like he has 0 pressure. Like, he's actually above useless right now. Like, he just wants to scale, and he's 2 levels down.
Hunika trying to get off a bit of damage onto Hyungra, but Hyungra will just use the claw to get out quite easily there. And Fallen Angel uses the culling, but there was no point really. I mean, if you look at Jester and Gorange, they're full HP, so practically a pointless ult there. And Jester's here again. He picks up the ward, but that's going to be it.
I actually really... Oh! That could be bad. Out of range, but I like the I think it's kind of weird actually, the itemization from Hunika. Oh, that's a play and a half, but just does not.
But Camille's going to turn up. Does she have the ult? Galio's going to ult right on top of Baby Sam, but Baby Sam will flash out of the way. So they did get a flash from that, so that's a good job from the Caeli mid lane and jungle.
Yeah, but there definitely was some miscommunication because Hallberg went in way too soon. Someone Jester could follow up, but it worked out in the end, I suppose. But
Goran's playing really aggressively. Surely not. That's just inting. That's
a pretty sweet sidestep. But wait, what are they doing? What's going on?
Camille's going to go for a kill, but she's not going to be able to get it. She tries to smite, and Mazarok flash it. Oh, that is a good snipe ult. The Super Mega Death Rocket, at least giving Caeli some compensation there. But what happened as Caeli just decided to turn on the int switch right now?
What the censor this out happened? Like,
because I was about to mention when Morgana was walking into the Aries jungle. Okay, you're walking in there. You don't have the vision, you could get clapped on, and then she lands the Dark Binding and she said, right, I'm going to go under turret as a Morgana with Aether Wisp to kill you. And Mazarok just says, well, I'm just going to stun you and kill you.
Yeah, so before the team were the ones who put the question mark in chat. This time I just think like, this time it's just Mazarok who's just like question marking all chat, but you know. No, but real talk, like, I just want to touch on this one itemization from Hunika, which I've tried to do in like 3 minutes now, so hopefully this time they're not gonna fight. But Hunika decided that his first item should be an adaptive helmet.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. Because, like, sure you want to have some sustain against the Lysandra, but I think it's more than fine to just pick up the Spectre's Cowl, because it gives you enough sustain. Plus, like, Adaptive Helmet only really helps against Vel'Koz, and that's only like half of his ultimate, because the other part of it is true damage, so I think that's pretty poor itemization.
Yeah, and I did want to actually touch on this in the champ select, as Holberg tries to get off a little bit of damage, and he gets off a fair bit. But on the side of Aries, you only have one AD source, and that is Fallen Angel. So I was going to ask, would you be prioritizing MR or armor in this matchup if you are on Caeli?
Yeah, like the itemization from Caeli is like, I do believe that if you are the side of Caeli, you should probably just like get that item is called a Nice Vow, and then plop it onto your AD carry, and then you only want a locket, and then everything is Gucci. Because if you have the locket, nobody's gonna get bursted down that hard, and if nobody gets bursted that hard, then the entire thing just like falls apart from Aries.
And actually, I just noticed this, but there's been a bit. I think Aries has miscommunicated a bit. On the Baron Pit, they put down 2 wards at the exact same time, But on overall vision, right?
That's spicy.
You've got Aries on the Gragas. Only a 13 vision score. While we're gonna get a bit of a fight. Camille's gonna dash in. Does she have the ult up? She does. She will get that off Baby Sam with a Glacial Prison. All members of Caeli will survive. Can they possibly continue the chase? Camille's gonna dash in. She will get the CC off on Baby Sam. Here comes Gallia with a hero's entrance, but it's just too far off. Vel'Koz is rotating in. I think that Caeli are gonna have to back off. Holberg is trying to be as aggressive as he can, but you have to be careful now. Look at Mazarot. He's just waiting there. And that's going to be the fight over. That was slightly anticlimactic. I thought they were going to keep on going for a second. And
yeah, but that's the guy. But he's aiming for the wrong guy, and he has the wrong items. He's doing no damage.
Yeah, it's
but he has to be careful.
The lost chapter and the tier just not giving the damage, but Garant is really low. And Baby Sam will smite him to death, as you mentioned. And what's just as AFK?
What's going on?
That wasn't just me, Jester seemed AFK, but Holberg has to flash out. He was gonna get, yeah, okay. They've just mentioned in the chat that there was a bug splat, and I just saw Jester standing still there, and I was like, no, surely there's something a bit wrong right now.
Like, I was about to say, like, if a post did not come out, I'd be like, hey, try and check their PayPal, because something's fishy. Like they played so well in the early game, and now they're like, hey, nah, you know, let me just I know what it is. I know what it is. They heard my plea for a Nico. But you know, yeah, apparently it was just be a possibility.
Just a bug splat. So you've got some time. So let's just go over how strong everyone is. I mean, currently you've got Caeli sitting on about 1.5k more gold, and in terms of CS, it's on the side of Caeli, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, we see again, Hunika has amassed a pretty good sizable CS lead top lane. Mid lane is ahead again as we expected, since he has had the pressure. And then Jinx and Lucian is pretty much even. So going forward from now, right now, it's just like, all Caeli want to do is to be like, hey, you haven't been able to punish us before, like, we trolled a bit, so let's just like keep farming. Let's just keep farming up and getting stronger. But
keep farming and inting, right?
Yeah, like, you know, keep it up. But I think that one thing that we should mention is that right now Ocean Drake has spawned. That's the second Drake of the game, and like, it's a Drake that if you're Caeli, it's actually not that bad, because you're gonna take a lot of poke from the Vel'Koz if you decide to siege. So if you get that, it's actually really good. And if you want to secure the Drake, there's a certain buzzword for coaches and casters that really shines through, and that's vision control. Okay. Yeah. And like, look at the vision. Yeah. Talk about the Drake. Right now Aries is on it, but the vision control Aries have around this Drake is really, really good. Like, they have a line of control wards, one in the pit, one in pixel bush, one in the bush above. Like, they only need one in the lane bush of mid lane, and the vision control is actually complete. And we shouldn't be able to see Caeli walk into the. I
mean, that's always the annoying thing, especially as a support main myself. You can only have one control ward out at a time, and it's quite depressing. I think they should up it to 2. It'd be much more fun.
Yeah, but like, I believe that the ward that is above the pixel bush, if they move that to the lane bush in mid lane, they would have so much more control over the map. And that would actually just allow them to play a lot more towards the bot side and really try and put this Lucian even further ahead, because right now he is 4-1-3, so he's really, really strong.
And, you've got Lil Ison in the bot lane, you've got a skirmish top. Hunika, can you get it? Healed, and there's the Glacial Prism. Baby Sam will try to get off as much damage. Heal has been ignited and will die. Can Hunika get out of this? He's used a Fear Beyond Death on Baby Sam. He's gonna get off.
Baby Sam's gonna win this.
And there's stun, and he will fall down. Yeah.
But what did Ra do? He just lost his mind. He walked in with 100 HP and just died. I have no clue what he's doing.
Yeah. And one thing I do want to mention is, no one took the Rift Herald in this game. There's just been too many skirmishes and no Rift Herald. So the Baron has come up, so that is going to be the first monster we're going to see get taken in the Baron pit, I guess. Okay.
Yeah. that is true. That is true indeed.
And currently, Serenity actually has 700 gold bounty on her head, so she is getting ahead. I mean, she had that misfortune early game where she got taken down by Jester as they contested for the Scuttle Crab, but starting to get ahead now.
Can you name a champion where you would like a champion where you'd want to have 5 kills less than Serenity? I'm really struggling to think about a champion.
I want to say Singed.
Nah, I'd have him Singed because they would just go more AP, like for like a Rylai's build instead. But like,
right,
Serenity,
I'm gonna forget all about casting now, so try to think about this thing.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm gonna hold this down. Like, right now, like we see Aries, they're transitioning the vision control towards top side.
Oh, Holberg is gonna get off the knock up onto Baby Sam. Camille's dashing in. Does she have the ultimate? She does. There's a Dark Binding. Camille will get the ultimate off. Surely Baby Sam is going to die now. Meanwhile, almost escapes, but Jinx will pick up the kill. Meanwhile,
down mid lane.
I was about to say, you've got them barreling, pushing down mid lane, and they will pick up a turret. But you've got Hunica on the bot lane. He might be able to get a turret. He does have to demolish. That does proc. Vel'Koz is going to head over, but I feel like if there is a fight, Hunica will get the kill.
Be careful, they're coming from. What are you doing, Fallen Angel?
Yep. Hunica has the fear beyond death, so you have to be careful. Jinx is getting caught out in the top lane. Can he pick up Hyungra? And Galio's going to ult in, misses everyone, but he will be there to get the knock up onto the Gragas, and Gragas will die instantly. This is going to be the inner turret going to fall for the side of Aries, and possibly we'll see a Baron. Was it too early?
So I want to talk about 2 points. First of all, I talked about how good the vision control from Aries was just before that fight. But funny enough, vision control doesn't matter if your entire team just run in and die.
Yeah.
Second of all, for some reason Ra decided that the most optimal target to use his Lissandra ult on in a fight where there were only 1 damage dealer was the Morgana just before she died. He kill secured with his ultimate. That's not how Lissandra works. You really have, like, Lissandra is all about her ultimate in the later stages of the game and in the mid game, so you really have to put it to good use. You can't just use it on the support to secure the kill. So that was completely Ra's fault that fight went so poorly. Like, had he just instant ulted the Jinx, the fight would most likely have looked completely different.
Right. And again, mentioning that vision control, you can see how much vision Aries does have around that Baron pit. Although I think Caeli will be heading in now. Yeah, and they're clearing out bits of the vision. But with the Lissandra, how soon can we expect to see a stopwatch being built on her, just so she can go in on the Jinx? She can stopwatch and stay alive for as long as possible.
Like, right now, you should, like, the problem now is that, like, they have no follow-up damage because Vel'Koz does
look at this
so little
Death
damage.
Brush from Caeli, and there's a Dark Binding. They are going to get absolutely burned. However, the Glacial Prison does land on the Jinx. Holberg is getting low. Baby Sam's going to die. Fear Beyond Death from Hunica will pick up the kill on Baby Sam. Look at Jinx. One trick is going to have to flash away, and the Super Mega Death Rocket just shy. Fallen Angel does flash to avoid that. And that is Baby Sam down. They could go for Baron. They are going to take the Mountain Drake first, which does make sense. Bit more damage to objectives for when they do eventually go for that Baron.
Yeah, but to answer your question, like, when do we see Lissandra pick up stopwatch so that she can dive in? Well, the problem is, have we seen Vel'Koz go for an actual itemization instead of like whatever weird items he decided to buy? Then with Lissandra going in and slowing everybody, he could actually like do some damage. But right now, if Lissandra goes in, she's just gonna die because there's absolutely no follow-up damage at all to get from her team.
And okay, Jinx is going to take the red buff, which again useful, and she has almost got a 3rd item. Lucian, meanwhile, again 2.5 items currently, and Caeli are going to get the Scuttlecraft. So again, that little bit more vision around the Baron. If you're Caeli now, what do? Where do you focus your resources?
Like, you definitely send Hunica bot lane, because right now Hunica is just so strong, and if Lissandra is not in the start of the fight, like if Lissandra is in the side lane matching Hunica, that's really good, because that means that she cannot be there in the start of the fight to engage on the Jinx. And furthermore, like, if they send down Vel'Koz, because he can just clear from long range, then you're even happier, because Vel'Koz does not have TP, so then they're just like, okay, he's here, Hunica just teleports the Baron and they take it, 45.
Yeah. And I was about to mention, you have Hunika now. He's pushing that bot wave. And again, if anyone does go over there, then they'll just decide, okay, let's start Baron. However, Baby Sam is going to get caught out. Jester's looking to have a go. Lucian's going to turn up. Can he get the damage? He does use a culling. And that is a great black shield from Gorange, who does stop the Glacial Prison from taking effect.
I think they can go for
Jester. Are they going to go for it?
But they should turn immediately as somebody comes in. They still have all but the Glacial Prison right now. So
Do
they
you
have
think
to actually
Urgot should Urgot TP bot lane and just take the inhibitor?
No, he should definitely keep his teleport, because right now he's a much bigger threat just being in base, because they have to respect him. As soon as he blows his teleport, it's so much easier for them to make the call that we should go, we should not go. If he just stays there, right now, as you see bot lane, an enormous wave is crashing and actually is gonna most likely take this tower, right? So
yeah,
he just delays them, like he puts doubt into them. Like, is he gonna teleport? Is he gonna go bot? If we commit, does he go bot? Like, he just makes them waste their time by committing no resources.
Yeah, and while they're wasting their time, he just happily walks up to bot lane or to Baron.
Exactly. Like, I think that was actually really patiently and smart played by Hunika.
Right, and Sejuani, as usual, has picked up the Warmong's armor, also gone for a Gargoyle Stoneplate. So is that something you'd expect to see then for this?
Well, like, with her having the Gargoyle Stoneplate, she's gonna be extremely beefy, but she won't have that many resistances whenever her passive is popped. But I would really like to see her going for like, because at this point, like, the initial game plan is smashed beyond like salvation. Like, they can't go onto enemy backline and just kill somebody. So instead, I think that that either Gragas or Sejuani should go for a locket, so that to try and peel for that team, it should probably be Sejuani because it scales off of HP.
Oh, Hunika's turning up.
Wait, Jester?
Jester's going to go in onto Baby Sam. One trick Poncer taking a fair bit of damage, but no real entire collapse going on here. And one thing I would like to ask is, you mentioned how strong Urgot is. If he goes into the side lane, there is no turret protection there now. So if anyone does go there from the side of Aries, surely Urgot will just easily be able to 1v1 them and just take the inhibitor.
Yes. That is. Oh, that's a flash ultimate.
And it does land. Holberg is going to take a fair bit of damage. The Dark Binding does land. And there's a Vel'Koz ult. Gorange has to flash away. But the Holberg stopwatch will last through the ultimate. He does get off a fair bit of damage, but it is not enough. And that will be one kill going over to the side of Aries. And are they going to go straight for Baron now that Holberg isn't there and there is no threat of that hero's entrance? They are going to start it.
Like, right there we see what happens. Like, there's just so much engage, as we talked about. It's really hard for them just to kill one and go to the next and kill one, go to the next, but they still have so much CC. Oh, that's a really good onto Jester. His don't play his pop. Oh, look, Jinx,
Jinx. And Urgot has changed over to Smart, but that's not going to be important because no one's starting Baron. Rise so low. Jinx will pick up the kill. Jinx is doing so much damage from the back line. One trick Panzer's going to go down. Baby Sam almost down. Fallen Angel will die. Lil Ison has him the Super Mega Death Rocket. He throws it and he does catch it. That's a quadra kill going over. Baby Sam's still alive. He's not going to chase after that. They're just going to go and end. You've got Urgot. He's TPing now. He's going to take... Sorry, that's the Galio who's TPing. He's going to take the inhibitor. Baby Sam is alive, but he can't get back. 16 seconds left on one trick Pawn Star. Gorange is just going to stop him from backing. Gorange doesn't have the Dark Binding just yet. He does. Will he be able to get
the one of the Angels?
It's so close between the two of them.
Boy. Oh, he just got slammed actually.
And that is a shame. Tried his best just to keep Baby Sam out of backing for as long as he could. But that, again, Mazrox, he tried to flash the Super Mega Death Rocket, but he flashed and then he walked into it, and it was just like, why?
What a disaster from Ra. He flashed trying to root the Jinx, but he missed, resulting in her just standing still and just free firing and raining hell upon everybody, and they weren't able to close the distance onto her. Had he landed that root, the fight would probably just have been a wash in favor of Aries. So a little thing like that just completely changes the outcome of the game, which is like, that just emphasizes how important split second decision making is in League of Legends.
And Jinx has just picked up the rapid fire cannon, so she has 100% crit. But as you mentioned, it was disgusting. At the end, she just dealt so much damage, turned the fight completely around. She's 8-2 now. She was only 4-2 before, but a lot of bounty gold on her head. So if there is another bad fight, expect a lot of gold, probably to go over to the side of Fallen, probably going to go on Fallen Angel or Mazarox.
Yeah, but like, she had a lot of gold, so she went for the rapid fire. But I would much rather have seen her go for the QSS, because as we talked about, how is Jinx gonna die? She's gonna get Lissandra ulted into Sidrani ulted, while Vel'Koz ult is just raining down, right? Like, that's how she's gonna die. Black Shield cannot stop all of those things. Get a QSS, and you're not gonna die.
QSS will go for straight Guardian's Angel.
Yeah, but like, if you go QSS and your support go Mikael's, you're good. Yeah. Like, you're not gonna die, and you are right now the win condition. Like, you are the DPS of your team. Go for that item. Don't be silly. Don't give your opponent a way back into the game by
one-shotting look at this
Jinx.
Baby Sam trying to go for Death Wish, but there is a ward in there, so yeah, no one's gonna walk up there. And again, like Caeli right now, they've taken down 2 inhibitors. Surely it's only going to be a matter of time before Aries are going to have to back off, deal with the threat of the sideways pushing in, and then Caeli will just be able to take Baron. And oh, Baby Sam looking to get clapped. He does hit the Jinx with the glacial glacial prison.
Get excited!
And the one-trick Panzer's going to die, but again, so much damage from the side of Jinx and Caeli. Jinx will pick up the kill with a super mega death rocket, but here comes Urgot. He has got the fear beyond death. Fallen Angel trying to do what he can from the back. He does get hit by the dark binding. That will be 5 kills over for nothing. Hyungra is alive, sorry. And that is going to be game. There is nothing Hyungra can do by himself. And Caeli will win the game with a clean sweep 2-0 against Aries. And I think, Hyungra is going to... No, he popped the stopwatch, but it's only a matter of time. There we go. He is dead. And that is game, set, and match.
I'm still confused why Morgana did not go Mikael's. Like, now the thing about it, Mikael's would actually have been the perfect item against the enemy comp. Like, it would have been so good, because you go Mikael's, Jinx go QSS, and she's not gonna die. Like, that would have been sick nasty.
Again, going Ardent Sensor. Has Ardent Sensor been buffed this patch?
I don't remember, but nevertheless, I think Mikael's would just have been so much better. But could be wrong.
But again, that Jinx late game just popped off completely, didn't it?
Yeah, but like, that's the thing. Like, Jinx is always gonna do enough damage late game. There's no need to like buy that Ardent Sensor item. Like, you'll do enough damage regardless, so I'd much rather have the survivability, because if she does not die, then she do more damage.
But I think, yeah, that has been this game, and I think it is practically time to wrap up. We will be having votes for most valuable MVP for both teams, so guys, do make sure you vote for that. But that is this game done and dusted, and Caeli will move to the top of Division 2. Any last words you've got to say, Bimsa?
Remember to buy control wards, don't be silly, be a good player. I think that's it.
Alright, so from myself and Bimsa, have a good night.
Bye.